Today we're reviewing the Moto E from Motorola. It's a budget smartphone, being the cheapest in the Moto range, costing around £80 for the SIM-free 4GB version. Despite the low price point, the phone feels rather sturdy. The body of the phone is made from plastic. It is relatively bulky, but it's no real problem. The face of the phone features a 4.3-inch LCD display. At the top there's the ambient light sensor and a notification light, but you will notice that the phone does not feature a front-facing camera. There's a pair of front-facing speakers, which is similar to the second generation Moto G and Moto X. To the side of the phone there's a volume rocker and lock button. At the top there's a secondary microphone and headphone port, and at the bottom there's a micro USB port for charging and syncing. The buttons feel a little stiff to me, but that might just be a fault in this individual phone. The rear of the phone has a 5-megapixel camera. The back cover is removable, so you can switch between different colored back covers. The battery is non-removable, but there is a micro SD card slot for expandable storage. The phone is easy to grip, even in one hand, and it feels comfortable. The phone features a 4.3-inch LCD display. The phone has a slightly low resolution, but this isn't very noticeable unless you look at a photo or at small text, and then you'll see that it is slightly blurry and not very sharp. The screen is however bright and viewing angles are good. The phone has a 1.2 GHz dual-core processor. Despite many phones these days having quad-core processors, you wouldn't notice this being any slower when doing day-to-day activities. The phone feels snappy and rarely gets held anywhere. The 1GB of RAM is also plenty for multitasking. The only place where you may find the processor inadequate is when gaming. 2D gaming is generally fine, however sometimes I feel the game slows down very slightly, but it's no real problem. The same applies for 3D games. Here I am playing Dead Trigger 2 in low graphics settings. It's pretty smooth, but it slows down a bit at times. The phone isn't ideal for intense gaming, but you can get away with playing the odd game now and then. The Moto E comes only in 4GB, which is fine because even if you do run out of memory, you can extend it using a micro SD card, which are rather cheap these days. There is a 1980 mAh battery, which is also fantastic. The phone can easily last slightly longer than a day with moderate to high usage. The camera is rather poor, but what do you expect for such a low price? The 5-megapixel shooter has no flash, so it is not suited for low light shooting. Pictures taken during the day are fairly decent but a little blurry. I think this performance is fair for such a cheap phone. Similar to the Moto G, this phone doesn't have many special features. Motorola have focused on only including what we need and making it at a decent price. The front-facing speaker is something which is becoming increasingly popular, but not all phones have it. The audio coming from it is not necessarily very loud, but sounds good and rich. The phone features Gorilla Glass, meaning the screen is hard to scratch or even shatter. The phone is water resistant to an extent due to a hydrophobic coating, so this phone can actually be even submerged underwater for a short period of time. The software is very stock Android 4.4 KitKat. This means the phone is fast and snappy because there is very little bloatware. We have also been promised an update to Android 5 Lollipop. The phone is fantastic for such a low price. It is perfect for a first smartphone. The phone has pretty much every feature you need. The only main things I think the phone is lacking is a flash, a front-facing camera and a slightly higher resolution screen. But if you want these, then you can go for the pricier Moto G. It is missing some of the other new features such as NFC and wireless charging, but I think most people can live without that. Thank you very much for watching.